Shalom everyone. This week we're going to learn about Parshat Mishpatim. Parshat Mishpatim has a lot of laws in it, and there's an underlying theme that is so important for our generation. We live in a world where people speak about rights, and Rabbi Verhaftig once pointed out that the Torah does not ever mention a person's rights. The Torah speaks about our responsibilities. I have a responsibility not to harm someone else. I have a responsibility not to damage someone else. Our Parsha says you have to watch your cattle so they don't harm other people. If you dig a pit, you're responsible. It shouldn't harm other people. You light a fire, you're responsible. It shouldn't harm other people. All the laws of damages focus on our responsibilities. Because we share responsibilities as a society, the derivative of that is that we have rights. You're responsible to make sure your animal doesn't harm me. So that gives me the right not to be harmed. So our Parsha discusses responsibilities. And it's interesting that the Parsha begins with an idea of a person who stole, and he has to pay back what he stole. The Torah tells us later on that a thief sometimes is taxed with paying double what he stole. But when a person can't afford it, so then the Torah has a concept of selling oneself as a servant. Now, a servant by Torah standards was not such a bad life. Meaning you had to be kind to your servants. The courts oversaw what happened with the servants, and the servants had ways of buying their own freedom. If you had only one pillow, the servant got the pillow and not the master. You had to feed him the same rich food that you ate and give him royal treatment. So, like the Rambam writes, having a servant was like taking your brother in. He had to treat you as a master, but you had to treat him like a brother. And we have all the laws of male and female servants and how the Torah structures it so we benefit people and society thrives and people are responsible and people ultimately also go free. The idea is that a person doesn't spend his life as a servant. And that's why the first mitzvah in our parsha, that first mitzvah speaks about the freedom, how a slave goes free. How does a servant go free? That's what's important to us, because life is about taking on responsibility, living up to our responsibilities. The parsha describes you're not allowed to hit a parent. You're not allowed to cause a parent to bleed. A person who lends something, borrows something, the responsibilities they have to take care of the object, and if it gets damaged, to pay for it. The Torah then speaks about our responsibility not to curse the leaders, even though he might not hear me. But what type of person am I if I'm cursing him? The Torah speaks about our responsibility to the converts, to be kind to them, not to oppress them. We have a mitzvah to give a loan, and we have a mitzvah after we've given the loan not to oppress the borrower, to be considerate of his needs, not to pressure him more. So the Torah speaks about our responsibility as a society to be kind people, to be fair people. At the end of the parasha, we have the Jewish conversion process. From here we will learn about how every convert converts. The Jewish people together accept upon themselves to be God's people. They accept the mitzvos. They bring a sacrifice. They do the equivalent of immersing in a mikveh. They do the equivalent of accepting all the mitzvos before a court. And so we start as Jews in this week's parasha. And at the end of the parasha, Hashem invites Moshe up Mount Sinai to receive the tablets. He will spend 40 days and 40 nights at the top of the mountain with Hashem teaching him the written Torah, the oral Torah, the messages that the prophets would later on put into writing, all of what we call Torah, all the 24 books of the Tanakh, of the Bible, all the concepts therein and that are derived are going to be taught to Moshe at the top of the mountain during these 40 days and 40 nights. It is during this time that Moshe shifts from being like everyone else to being on a level that's almost angelic. He's almost like an angel. For 40 days and 40 nights he won't eat, but he will study Torah. And he will come back with the 10 Commandments engraved on this spiritual stone that Hashem gives him. It is the connection between heaven and earth. As Moshe will bring us the message from Hashem, the Torah that he learned he will teach us by heart, and the 2 tablets he will bring us with the 10 Commandments engraved by Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.